You can see that the holidays are almost upon us. So I was participating in the YouTube Shorts popular thing that's going on about Christmas tree without a tree. So here we are, our Christmas tree without a tree. Last week we did some darts, and I showed you two different ways to put darts into the back of a wedding gown. One was a hand stitch, and one was a actually kind of seaming it in with the machine. And this was on a beaded gown. So today's gown is going to have a little bit heavier lace, but kind of the same concept. These are the small of back darts that we need to put in for this bride. And we also need to give her some boning. So the once we put the darts in, okay, so her her dress kind of has this from the side, the back is kind of sagging a little bit. So once we kind of snatched that lower back in for her, and we kind of, pinched the dress to see how it would go. A lot of radials came up along her lower back. So it was just on the verge of needing some boning to compensate for the curve. And once we put the darts in, it's really going to need some boning. So today's also includes putting some boning in. And if I recall right, I'm getting ready to pull the dress. I'm thinking it's a semi-sheer. So I know some of you guys have questions about that. What happens if you need to put in additional boning for a semi-sheer bodice? Well, we'll get into that. But essentially, we're going to color match as best we can, or we're going to just cap some invisible boning, and we will free motion that in. So we'll see which approach we're going to take on this dress, and I'm going to grab the dress and we'll get started on it. Don't forget, today does include a Q&A. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. You guys feel free to say hi to each other, and I'll check the comments here in just a bit. But I'm going to go get that dress so we can get started. Let's check in on these plants, though, here. Look at this. This was that baby leaf that I showed like last week, and this was the one that was barely starting to stick out. It was like a nub, but look at that. And then one of you guys told me, I forget who it was. I don't remember, maybe Elise. I don't remember. But one of you guys told me to take this leaf that I accidentally broke off during a video a couple weeks ago. My tripod fell over and it just snapped that leaf right off. Someone said just to put it down in the soil and that it should propagate. So we're going to see if that will work. But yeah, here's my lovely Begonia maculata with all of her new leaves. And I'm really excited about this one down in there because it's getting the larger spots. See, these babies have the larger spots than the older leaves. So I'm super excited about that. Because remember, we still have our role model leaf from my favorite Begonia maculata. And I kept her leaf when she perished. All right. See how big her spots are. That was like goals. And she's pictured on my website. When I took the pictures of my new book, she was in it. Rest in peace. Beautiful Begonia maculata. All right, so I'm going to go get that dress, and we're going to work on the small of the bodice, bringing in the small of the back of the bodice. I'll go grab that in this other room. I did want to show you, I told you guys once about the lighters, that we use for heat sealing, and that I discovered that at gas stations you can buy these singular instead of the multi-packs, because I was always getting them at like Walmart in multi-packs, and it would have something like lovely and on trend with my aesthetic, and then it would have like 3 or 4 random stuff that I didn't like the look of. but I found you can buy them singularly at a gas station. But I did find this multi-pack at Walmart this week. And both of these, is this me or what? I love that. All right, I'll grab the dress. Hang in there, guys. Oh, she's a heavy one. This dress is so heavy. Oh, goodness. And there's an interesting story that goes along with this dress. The mom last week, um, she was not nice. I had never met her before, but oh man, she was not nice to me. Um, like persistently so. And then she stepped out for a minute to take a call, and the bride let me know that I think it was her. I'm getting the relations wrong. I know this, but the mom's sister was like terminal or something, or mother or something was terminal, and she was having to deal with the business of that happens, plus the emotional weight, plus her daughter getting married within that month. And so, she just asked me to excuse her mom's behavior, that she's not normally like that, but she's just so stressed and was clearly taking it out on me. I mean, it was bad enough for the bride to want to talk to me privately about it. And I really appreciated her saying that. But I just thought it was like a good teachable moment to relay for other people in this industry. Like, we need to remember that when somebody's being nasty, it's not about us most of the time. It's there's something else going on, particularly like if you didn't do anything wrong, which was the case. This was the first time I had ever met this mother. And she was not upset with me about anything in particular. Um, she was just being nasty. So, anywho, there's that little life lesson that does come up from time to time. This dress is so heavy that she's not staying on the sewing table. So I'm going to go ahead and lower this tripod and get started. And hopefully we won't have this dress knock the tripod over today, like what we suffered a couple of videos ago. All right, I want to get you a little closer than this. So excuse my clunking. I'm going to get this dress out of the way and get you guys a little closer. There we go. All right, let me just read the comments before I sit down. And I don't know if you guys remember or not, or noticed it, but I did my live stream reminder on Instagram today. And I did say, as we say in the South, I have a bustin' headache today. I woke up with a bustin' headache, we call it. So I don't know that I'll have the stamina to go to 3 today. And if you notice, my voice is a little less exuberant today. It's because of the pain. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Hello, Lori. BST Bestie. Hello. Susanna. Hi, sweetie. Maria. Hello from Florida. Hello. You're so faithful. Hetchy. Hello from Indiana. Catherine, is that a Lotus red eye machine? I don't know that it's a Lotus. Are all red eyes Lotus? It is a red eye. It is a red eye. All right, let's see. Lori, I use a candle lighter. Anyone else? Oh, do you mean like the long butane ones? Jacqueline's own. Hello from Canada. Maria agrees there's usually other reasons. Yes. Veronica. Hello, Veronica. Victoria, I just worked on a dress exactly like this last week. Yes, it's a Maggie Sotero. It's very popular and it's very, very heavy. So it has the secret sparkle layer, which is like it's sequins sewn on with invisible thread, and then it's beaded and it's got a lot of heavy layers to it. So it's quite punishing. Let's see. Catherine, hello from the UK. Hello. Elizabeth Burley, good afternoon. Jacqueline's own, I had a customer who was nasty to me. I felt like crying and giving back his pants. But when he came and picked up his pants, he was very apologetic. That was nice. It's always nice when someone can see themselves, you know? Lori, I hope you feel better soon. Prayers for healing. Thank you. I did go ahead and eat a heavy breakfast and take some Tylenol. And I drank 2 cups of coffee. So a lot of times all of that together makes me feel a little bit better. Maria, Boston headache comes with crazy weather here today in the South. Yes, Maria, you're exactly right. And one of my strongest allergies is a mold allergy, and it's been raining for days. I think we're on is it like day 4 or 5 out of the past week? So it's very likely that it's a mold allergy. So Lori says yes, a long lighter. All right, let's get started on the sewing. If you guys can take a minute and hit that thumbs up button, that would be awesome. And I'm just going to get you zoomed in a little bit here. That might be a little bit too far. Great day. Woo, touchy today. Touchy, touchy. Ugh. That's better. All right, here we go. So like I said, today's lace is a little bit heavier. We don't have that linear stuff going on that we had before. That would have been nice. And it's beaded. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to put the dart in this area here. But I'm not going to do it in this layer. I'm going to do it in all of these layers here, not this layer. And I'm going to go ahead and prep this for her. I'm going to cut along a horizontal line here and just probably just follow this stem. And any beads that I interrupt, I'm going to put the hypo cement on to prevent bead loss. So I'll do that. And then I'll put a vertical cut, something like this, a little bit of an organic edge to it. Same thing, anywhere the beads are interrupted, I will put this on it. And then so when I get her in it, the dart will already be fixed. The fit will be fixed. But I can just lay this quadrant that I'm going to make. I can lay it down however it needs to be to fit. This right here, I cannot emphasize enough how important this is, this lesson. Because a lot of you would struggle and, be DMing me or something about when you dart it and you end up getting the radials, what do you do? And like I mentioned, we are going to beef up the boning a little bit, but boning is not the solution to that, okay? What happens when you dart in a lower back as much as we're going to do with this dress, you're actually shortening it at the same time because of the dart. The way the dart is scooping in, you're making the outer part of the dart is shorter than the inner part. You are literally shortening that dress, even though it's just a little bit. So instead of shortening it, we're going to allow for an overlap. All right, this way and that way. So the dart is going to be formed with an overlap and hand stitched while the bride is in the dress. And that is going to make all the difference in a custom fit. Man, I wish I could just put everything that I said in neon or like, Because do you ever like listen to somebody like teach on something and they say everything that you needed to hear, but it doesn't like sink in like how important it is until then you go on and you try the task yourself and it's not working. And then all of a sudden you stumble across the thing they told you to do. And then it's like this light bulb moment. And you're like, oh, that's what they said. It was key and I didn't get it. That's how I feel like this alteration is for a lot of people. They feel like they can skip it, like it's just not a big deal. And it's actually a very big deal. So I'm actually going to give you a different camera angle here. I'm going to let my machine hold this for us. I'm going to give you a different camera angle just so you can clearly see the layers that we have going on here. Let's get you out of here. Let's see. Get you out of the tripod. Woo, that was dramatic. All right. So I'm talking about this layer is the one I'm going to cut into the 4 quadrants and hand sew down while she's in it. All right. This is the layer that I'm going to machine sew a dart in. And I'm going to check my sketch, how far I have to go down in the skirt, but I'm probably not even going to take this apart. I'm probably just going to put a dart in through the layers because this is going to kind of, you know, give such a finished look on the outside that you won't know that I didn't disassemble the inside for the dart. And there's no sense in her paying all that and me taking all that time when it's not going to be visible after the fact. So I hope me moving this around is making it visible where you can see what's going on. All right, I'm going to check the comments real quick and see if you have questions about what I'm doing. Let's see. Okay, no, I don't see any new comments or questions. All right, let me get you back in here. All right, now I'm going to refer to my notes. Fresh on my mind. Those of you who joined the virtual retreat, we did have an awesome, awesome week. You know that I do sketches, not just like measurement notes. Okay, so this is going to go down into the skirt. So I'm going to look at the skirt construction and see how that is going to work. If I need to take it apart at the skirt or not. Or if I'm just going to sew right through. So it's really going to depend on how that is put together and how floofy the back is. Floofy is a word because I just made it one. All right. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so we have a pleat here. So I think I'm going to do the darts. You guys can see that where this pleat comes out. Okay, so I'm going to just open this up and run the dart through there. And that's going to work. Fabulous. Just fabulous. Just feeling for how this is constructed here. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take it apart. Because I'm actually going to work zipper side of where this pleat is. because there's boning and a seam right there that we really don't even need to interrupt. So I'm just going to work to the side of it. I'm going to go ahead and get this open here. I hope everybody is doing well. Are you all doing well? And I did hear all the requests that came through for a shorter version of the virtual retreat. I will do that. I really just probably need to get like family birthday season and Christmas season behind me. And then we'll do that. I'll try to do it maybe sometime in January. How's that sound? Get that going. I'm going to keep opening this up. Pleats are actually kind of easy to put back together. I have a knock at the door. I need to go catch that. I'll be back. Hang in with me, or if not, I understand. Oh, guys, I'm so excited. It was my shipment came in from my supplier. I'm super excited. It's actually new audio. It's new audio equipment because this channel is just going to get better and better. So I'm excited about that. All right, here we go. So we're still picking this apart. And don't forget, guys, I do consider this kind of a sew with me. I schedule these live streams every Thursday from, I don't think I need to open that up. I'm going to sew through that. Every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm not extremely goal-oriented about getting my sewing project done within that time. I just want to be here for when you guys have questions. And there, see, I've opened it up totally. And I've got all my layers separated out. So I just want to be here for you guys when you have questions. And I want this to just be a sewing session with all of us together. So someone last week complained the video was so long. You know, I try to do an hour. They complained that it was so long and they just didn't have time for this and, you know, whatever. They were actually very rude. I felt like the comment was very rude. I'm not saying who they are. But I explained to them if they needed shorter form content, I do all kinds of content on here. I do shorts. I do sewing tips that are always shorter. I'm going to take this in on the inside of the skirt. And then I have my longer form content, which varies from like 5 minutes to usually about 20 minutes for like a complex lesson. And then this is the hour-long live stream that honestly, it's supposed to be, like by nature, it's supposed to be long form and pretty unstructured in terms of like what the point of the video is, you know? So I think a lot of it would just go really far if I reiterated so that people had the understanding of what each video type was about and what to expect. So anyways, that's what we're doing with this video. It's a sew with me. So you guys just be sewing, and if you have a comment or a question, you just drop it in there and we're all just going to keep on sewing. So that's what it is. This dress is really fighting me, and when it's like that, what I do is, it's because it's so heavy, you know? Well, and working with the tripod. What I do is I kind of pin it, and then I run my first dart in, and then I'm going to reposition the dress and deepen the dart a little bit. So this is about a 1/4 inch folded here at this is about the middle point of the dart, of the length of the dart. It needs to be a 1/2 inch. It's pretty dramatic. She's got quite a sway in her lower back. And as you guys know, if you don't capture that with the fit, the dress can make the bride look a lot heavier than she is, or not give her her true shape. Okay, I know you can't see this super well, but doing my best, and then I'll show you as soon as I pull it out. So if I'm doing a 1/2 inch folded is what I call it, that means we're taking it up a full inch on each side. And this is taking a lot of strength. Such a heavy dress to fight, so it's that much that we're taking it in. Make sure you can see it good. Let's see, can you see it good? I'm trying to focus it here. Yep, took it in that much. All right, so now I'm going to get into the skirt. Oh my goodness, I said the wrong thing, guys. Earlier, I said this was a Maggie. Maggie does make a dress like this. It's still very heavy. This dress is even heavier than that. Can somebody guess the brand? I have said in the past, if I were to have an injury or repetitive stress injury or injury event and had to categorically eliminate by label certain dresses because I just physically couldn't do them anymore, this would be the first label that I would eliminate. This would be the first designer. Can anybody guess? Put it in the comments. Who makes the heaviest dresses mass produced now? Okay, like, it's not Panina, because yes, her gowns can be heavy. She also, I really appreciate this, she makes them to where they can be taken apart and worked on. So that's great. If I have a heavy, like, silk satin Panina ball gown, that bad boy is going to be cut in two and taken apart. And I'm going to adjust the bodice and adjust the skirt separately. So it's not Panina. All right. So I'm going to, with my finger, make sure that organza is tracking along this edge. Nice. Oh, looks like I'm going to be able to get the full 1/2 inch in one go with it. There we go. Can you guys put your guess in? Not the designer. I can't see the comments, so don't really know. And this dart is going to go through that tag. So just going to release the tag where the dart is, so I don't sew through it. I don't have to do this. It just looks a little bit more professional if you don't zip right through that tag. And here comes the grand reveal. Oh, Justin Alexander. Heaviest dresses. Just no consideration for us poor sewists who have to lift these impossibly heavy gowns. Alright, so now I'm darting the lining layer. I need my nippers. got these little guys. Somebody was asking me how do the ones work that I get from that Workshop Tools. When I don't know if you guys have seen that video yet or not, but it's like a hardware supply store haul. This is a pair of them. They actually work really, really well. And I forget what they are. They're like $2. Instead of like, they would be like $20 or $30. Like if you got a name brand one from a sewing supplier, right? They work really, really well. I don't know as far as like how well they're going to hold up and how well they're going to keep their edge over time. So what I recommended is if you already have like a $50 pair that's your favorite ones by your machine, I would put these little $2 ones out in my front room where, you know how brides sometimes do, or their guests, they'll grab a pair of scissors, like out of your work area, you know, your little stash or basket or whatever that you have in the front room. They'll grab it and cut a label or something, which is so rude. But anyways, that way I don't feel like I've lost a lot. And that's kind of what I do with these. But they're actually really well made. And they have these micro serrations. Let's see if I can get it in the light. See the micro serrations? That allows, like, whatever you're cutting doesn't slip out real easy while you cut. And I love that factor in my shears and scissors. So anywho, there's that. I'm getting ready to read the comments. So if you guys have a question, pop it in there. And then after that, I'm probably going to have to go. So I'll probably do the questions and then cut through that top lace layer to show you what I'm talking about. And then I'll need to hop off here. But I've got all my layers stacked, including the bodice and stuff in there. And you guys are probably not going to be able to see it because of the floof. The floof is blocking your view. So much floof. So much floof. There we go. Sewed right along that waist seam. I'll get this out of here just so it doesn't get caught on anything else later. All right. And I'm going to turn it right side out and inspect my work, because you never know. You could have picked up something extra in there. Nobody's above that. If you read my comment section on a bad day, you'd think everybody was, but nobody's above that. Perfect. Okay, so this is an overlay and it has remained as such. That's wonderful. And these pleats, what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage them with hand stitching. So we've got our dart down inside of there, and I'm going to fold my pleat over like this and hand stitch that pleat in, and then the overlay is going to cover that. Do you see how I managed that? All I did was I knocked this layer loose when I was separating my layers. I darted the organza and the lining layers. It's like a pongee, an organza, and then a lining layer. I darted all of them. I did not dart my pleats. I did not completely disconnect them and redo them. I just left them a little bit loose so that I can put a new corner on there and tack it, and it's going to work out beautifully. See that? There is no need to spend 2 hours fighting those pleats. Nope. They're going to lay great. All right, so here we go. And this is a piece that I'm cutting through. Make sure that you can see that. I'm cutting through some beadwork here. So remember, I'm going to go through with my hypo cement and fix all of that. All right, so I'm going this way because a dart does shorten it a little bit. Okay, I said I was going to follow along that stem, and here I am, not doing what I said. But the dart, after I referred to the sketch, the dart was a little lower than what I was remembering. I thought the whole dart was up here, but it crosses over the waist seam. It's lower, so that's why I lowered that. And let's see. This is here. I really don't want all these pearls to fall off, so I'm just going to go this way. We're going to have a little bit of collateral damage, but nothing too crazy. And cut through the bottom of this stem, through this stem, and go along this leaf. All right, so here's the hypo cement. Here's my 4 quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's get this cemented right away to reduce the amount of bead loss. Okay. And I just tap it to the end of my thread and just go up a couple spots. So everyone who got interrupted gets a little tap. Tap, tap. Just feel like Bob Ross today. Just a happy little tap of cement. And this stuff smells terrible when it's wet. And then when it dries, it doesn't have a smell. So don't be afraid of that. For those of you who are inevitably going to ask about this product, I link to it on the products page of my website. So go to bridalsewing.com and then click on products and you'll see it. And I also always get questions about how do I keep the cap clear, because it kind of tends to ooze for a while. I don't see that. When I open it, I just pull all the glue out of it and then just give it some time to get gummy and throw that away. All right. So the way that this is going to work now, just to refresh you, fold this, tack it, okay? And then when she tries this on, these guys are going to overlap because of the dart. It's going to overlap. We're going to reduce it a full inch, remember? These guys will overlap, and then these guys will overlap. You can see all this extra length in here. Like that. See how that makes it smooth? Like that. So that will be hand sewn while she's in it. All right. There is that for that alteration. And then I'm just going to check over the comments. And let me see. Get you out of here. Whew. She's so big. All right, let me see your comments. Okay, Hannah Lee, good evening from Cape Town. Hello, BST Bestie, welcome. Maria is watching and sewing some Christmas gifts. That is so sweet. I think like handmade Christmas gifts are, that's amazing. That's like goals there. Let's see. Patricia, good afternoon from Niterói, RJ. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sunny and warm in these parts. Santa is coming in swimming trunks. I think it's so awesome having a worldwide audience, guys. And that's one of the things that I did not think about when I first started my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get you guys set up in a tripod in case you don't know. I didn't understand like how cool it was going to be to have an international um, viewership. It's so cool. All right, let me get you like this so you can just see the sewing room. Oh, somebody was asking about my sewing machine. Let me get that in the frame then. All right, let's see. Amy, does anyone have cameras in studio or at your front door? Amy, honey, I'm trying to think. Amy is a longtime BST bestie veteran, guys. She came and did a in-person retreat with me years ago. And we had a great time and forged a friendship there. But I'm remembering when you came, I actually didn't have cameras, but I do have cameras now, Amy. So that's a great question. Obviously, I don't have them pointed anywhere that somebody would be changing, but I do have them. So Lori is hoping to get one for her door at Christmas. Yes, I do have one at my front door. I like to be able to look at that to see like who's on the porch kind of idea. So, let's see. Say hello, lovely daughter. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I'm going to say bye to my daughter.
Yes, it's on the right side. I got it.
All right, I'm back. She was bringing me something. I sent her on an errand. She was bringing it to me. Guys, I highly recommend finding a 17-year-old daughter who has a driver's license who can help with errands. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so cameras. I do like one at the front door so I can see if somebody's delivering or who's knocking, that kind of thing. And then I also, for safety, I have them around the perimeter of my building outside. So, like before I leave, I can look and make sure everything's cool. And then I have them even within my building, and I have one trained on my iron so that if I'm at home and I have that weird feeling of like, did I forget my iron? I can check. By the way, did you guys see my short about intrusive thoughts, bridal sewing edition? Leaving the iron on is one of them. All right, let's see here. Angie Gregory, BST Bestie. Oh, I love them to go longer. I watch what I can and then watch the replay later. We would love for you to visit with us for hours. Oh, thank you, Angie. That's super sweet. Jacqueline's Own, I'm sorry, but some people are so rude and they don't know what to complain about. This is very true. It's very true. Because I was like, I just replied, like, I don't understand where this is coming from. Because I have a lot of shorts and a lot of short form content. So, like, literally pick your thing, right? Like Angie was saying, she likes long form. So she'll play that. I love long form content personally, guys, because you know how it is. Like, we're sewing alone for hours in our rooms, which I love. I love the solitude, but I do love like happy chatter in the background or like podcasts or something going. And if my favorite YouTuber or whatever puts out a video and it's like a 2 or 5 minute talking head video, I'm always a little bit sad because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to tap the screen to find a different video in 5 minutes. What a letdown, you know. First world problems, right? But I do. I like the long form. Let's see. Patricia, some people are not well with themselves and will find a reason, any reason to complain about something. This is so true. Maria, I so look forward to these lives and appreciate your talents every time and time. I consider myself a new bridal sewer, and anything I pick up on is such a help. I appreciate this so much. Thank you, Maria. You're so faithful. I can tell, like, you've got it on your calendar. That's awesome. And guys, honestly, I would probably still do this even if only 10 people showed up. And our numbers are getting greater and greater each week. The actual physical count of who's on at the time isn't really real because by the end of it, we've had 200 or 300 people that have stopped in. So a lot of people are doing the same thing as what one of the commenters just mentioned. They'll watch a little bit when they can, and then they save the rest to watch later. So I do feel like it's a benefit for the community, but I do appreciate you guys showing up. Susanna Casablanca? No, nope, nope, nope. Did you see the oh Lori guessed it. Justin Alexander. Yeah, the tag. Justin Alexander. Good guess, Susanna. Um, she mailed me a card the other day. That was so sweet. Mailed me a card with a Starbucks gift card in it. Oh my goodness. She knows her girl. I love me, love me some coffee. Hence my lighter, right? um, let's see. Maria, do you put the tags back in? I do. Yes and no. This one I probably can because the skirt is so full it won't show. But particularly like this kind of tag, you saw it how the back of it is black, and that's what's facing out toward the the viewers of the gown. A lot of times I won't sew it back in if I feel like it's going to have a dark shadow. So just depends. If I take it out, I just put it in their bag. Yes, Patricia, I do the same thing. She's talking about a rigging system to hold the dress. I absolutely do the same thing. I've got all kinds of rigging going on, and I've got pulleys. I showed you guys that in my hardware store haul video. I put in some pulleys in my cutting room, and I'm so happy with them. With this, though, it was just a little bit harder to manage because of the tripod. Honestly, the tripod. Oh, that's hilarious. Look, you can see my little mouse trap down there. I've never called anybody, but if one comes in here, I want him gone, right? So this was actually an old porch room. That's why there's siding. There's siding on the walls in here, which I think is so cool. It's old wood siding. So I do worry about, am I ever gonna get mice or something in here? And then these windows, it's so funny. I have a couple of them in here, but these windows are school bus windows. And then somebody was asking, not in this comment, they asked this morning on something else, and I'll direct them. They were asking about my shelves. I put them in the stories when I put them up. Let me just talk about my shelves for a minute. And then look at this little antique machine I found. It actually works, guys. It's like it does a chain stitch, but it's an antique hand crank chain stitch. Oh, I just love it. I found it at an antique store for next to nothing the other day. But anyways, okay, back to the task at hand. The way I made these little shelves is so simple. They're 2x4s that we just kind of like screw into the wall with carpenter screws. So they're probably in with like 2 or 3 inch screws. So they're in there. Okay. And then I just lay a 1x4 on top and then just like put the screw in like this angle. Okay. So it cuts. I bump away so I don't split the wood, and I go through at this angle to really grab that 2x4. And then you can also do some of them just going straight down, like, because you have obviously close to 2 inches here. You can go almost straight down through. With that, you'd want kind of a thinner screw or pre-drill. Pre-drill is really kind of the best for that kind of thing, so you don't split it. But yeah, that's how I made these shelves, these little Notions shelves, and I just love them. Okay, so this is the 1x4, and then this is like is this also a 1x4? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so we put this, it just protrudes the width of the 2x4. But this one I put on before I put this on the wall. So I laid like the 2x4 this way and the 1x4 this way and screwed it straight. So the screws are coming from behind, going across like this. And then you mount this and do that. So you can do a double shelf that way. So yeah, that's how I put those in. And I love it because it has all my lace samples and buttons completely visible you know, I can just reach right over and match them all up very quickly. So I keep my long-term storage of lace samples that are a little bit larger than this. I keep them in totes in another room. These are just my more frequently used ones. And then I keep them by the bowl up here, frequently used again. And then any other bolts and stuff are going to be upstairs for long term. So there's that. I hope that helps you guys. Let's see. Amy, why as humans do we focus on the negative rude comments? You're right, Amy. Oh my goodness. It's so true. I read a stat about that, about the ratio of negative comments to positive comments that you recall. And it's true. I'll get a video with like, let's say it's like 20 comments and then there's like one snarky comment and it's awful. I remember the snarky ones. And the 20 of them will be like appreciative and whatever. And I do pause. I do take pause with those guys. I do appreciate them greatly. But something about the negative just clings to you so much worse, you know? Actually, that one, I must say that one didn't really like bother me. It was more like irritating. Um, and, but I did feel like, you know, there is always a nugget of truth. There's something going on when somebody says a negative comment. I shouldn't say always, but a lot of times there is. And I felt like it was important to me. It expressed the importance of me to remind everybody that I have multiple forms of content on here as far as lengths go, and to remind people about kind of the point of the live streams are just to sew with me. It's not really, the point is not the sewing lesson. The sewing lesson is in it, but that's not the point. So yes, Amy, you are exactly right, girl. Exactly right. You can have like 30 coworkers tell you look great today, and then one person comes in and comments negatively on your clothes, and you're like, oh, you want to go home and change. All right, Maria, I had all my scissors sharpened at our local quilt shop. Once a month, they bring a man in to do that. That's awesome. Oh, don't you love freshly sharpened stuff? Elizabeth, yes, I saw that. Catherine, sorry, got confused. Yes, there's a Lotus Style Singer and a Red Eye separate Singer 66 machine. And then Susanna, the coffee giver, sends a heart. Okay, so I'll zoom in where you can see this. This is the Red Eye. My father-in-law gave me this. And it's got the spoked hand wheel where you can put a hand crank on it. The one that I refurbished and kind of made what I needed it to be, that was a family machine originally, it had the smooth hand wheel. Like, this is solid on the inside, not spoked. And I actually had to find a vintage spoked hand wheel and then find a vintage hand crank, because the crank works with the spokes. It kind of latches in between the spokes, and that's what allows it to work. So this one I actually had to outfit it that way. And I love it. I love the hand crank to start. I just think it's like an interesting little characteristic, you know. But this one has it. And it's missing, as you can tell, the throat plate cover. And I've never actually sewn on it. He just gave it to me as like a, you know, like an aesthetic thing. It's just beautiful. I love the red eyes. All right, guys, I made it longer than I thought I would with my headache. It is feeling better. I know I say this every week, but I really am discontinuing these on Teespring. I might put them on my new merch, but if you guys want to get them for Christmas or something. Yes, I'm a bridal seamstress. No, I won't hem your pants. A little sewing humor. So if you want to get that, that's in the merch shelf on my channel, and then hopefully we'll have somebody different here in the new year offering the merch. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful week. And if next week is too busy and I don't see you until after Christmas, we will see you after Christmas. Take care, guys. Thank you, as always, for joining. Thank you for the hearts, Amy. Love you to bits. Miss you. Bye.